I guess I'll start out with you first. We're conducting a death investigation. Right here in this wood line, there's a decomposed body that was just found. Is that what the f*** back there? I'm telling you, that smells some bad. Right there. Okay.
We begin here at 6 with breaking news. A missing Maine woman has been found dead in Florida.
So then he's like, I went and got me another 4-pack of beer, and then had the urge to go again. So we went back there and had some with her.
On the night of April 7th, 2016, a homeless woman was looking for cans in a wooded area in Newport Richey, Florida, when she made a chilling discovery.
So you actually, did you now, when you say you walked back in the woods and you saw a dead body, you immediately recognized it was a dead body? Or you actually were stepping on it or over her, or it's right now? I walked back to the floor here. So you walked back there. The first time I went back there, did you go past where the body was located? Did you go that far in? Okay.
Second time, I went back there, okay. I pulled that limb back, okay, and I started walking back there, and I'm like, oh my God. That body came back.
Okay.
With a homeless camp nearby, the police think that it's a case of homeless altercation gone wrong. But they were soon to realize that they were actually investigating a case where an innocent date turned into a necrophile's murder scene.
So you basically ventured in the first time, got cans, came back out, went back in a little deeper, pulled those branches back and saw what you thought was a dead body. Did you immediately recognize it as a dead body?
Looked like one to me.
Okay. And did you touch anything? Okay. Did you do anything at all out there other than touch the branch? And then you came back out and you called us.
Pasco County Sheriff detectives interviewed the caller, who claimed that the body was beside a shopping mall next to a mobile home community. She was smart enough to run back out immediately so as not to damage the crime scene, and before the detectives could go diving into the wooded area to confirm the body, they were put off by the foul smell that came from its decomposition. Their first order of business was to collect CCTV footage from the nearby Metro PCS store and go door to door in the remote community for possible witnesses.
My name is Deputy Sheriff of the Sheriff's Office. Listen, we're investigating unfortunately, a dead body that was located in the woods right here. It's pretty badly decomposed. I was wondering if you've seen or heard anything in the past 2 weeks. No. Sir, my name is Deputy Sheriff of the Sheriff's Office. We're investigating a death. We located a decomposed body over here in the woods. Have you guys seen or heard anything in the past 2 weeks?
No, a dead body. Where?
Right behind Metro PCS? No? No. I don't know if they told you what we found. We found a pretty badly decomposed body in the woods.
Alongside this collection of witness statements, the detectives talked to the owners of the Metro PCS store for surveillance footage of that week, only to find that the store owners had recently changed.
What's going on? Hey, do you guys have cameras on back? Well, honestly, I have no idea. We just took over this store like 4 days ago. So they'll work on that.
The employee takes him to the room where the CCTV footage is being recorded, but most of it's erased.
New owners just bought this building on Friday. Everything on the cameras was erased.
In the meantime, a different team of police officers secured the area and cleared the path to the body. Their priority is to identify the victim and draw initial conclusions about what may have happened.
Yeah, very well maybe a female. It looks like pants.
Yeah.
There's a shopping cart over
and there's the other flip-flop just past her.
Yeah.
So.
Might be. That's like a...
Almost right away, they had a hunch on who this person might be.
I wonder if it's the body of this missing female from Newport Richey. I think her name was Pat. Been missing since 2015.
21-year-old Brooklyn Peck was reported missing in October of 2015, just over a mile from this wooded area. And while the police labeled her as an unsolved case, her family never stopped searching for her. At that point, not knowing about Peck's whereabouts hurt them more than knowing the truth, which is why when this newly found body appeared on the news, they hoped to gain some kind of closure. That is, if it was actually her. The confirmation on whether it was Peck relied on the coroner's report, which would happen after the forensics securely got to the body and took it in for testing.
little branch gone? This one? Now cut it.
It was hard to tell a path that would lead them towards the body. However, judging by the items thrown along the way, the detectives could tell that a path was made from the store.
She may have been a working girl, so to speak. Dancer or something.
They didn't take the ring, so
Nope.
it had nothing to do with that.
Nope. Weird, but she has been here a while.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Just looking at the position of the body, the arms up, legs, the jewelry still on, pantyhose.
well, and this is you can see this little area is cleared out.
Mm-hmm.
You know, this, and it's a little high spot right here.
Right.
That's where homeless people go to hang out, high and dry, and
Mm-hmm.
After the detectives examined the body closely, they noticed that she still had her jewelry on, suggesting that it wasn't a robbery gone wrong. Her clothes were pulled over her face, and her face was brutally massacred to the point of being unrecognizable. The police also observed her ripped stockings, leading them to suspect that this poor woman was R-worded and murdered. The detectives first thought that it was the body of Brooklyn Peck, but after combing deep into her case file, they detected a physical feature that ended her connection to this newfound body. Peck was missing the tip of her pointer finger on her left hand, while the recovered body had the tip intact. The detectives didn't take long to comb through the missing persons reports of the month until they found a positive match for their Jane Doe.
We begin here at 6 with breaking news. A missing Maine woman has been found dead in Florida. Deputies say remains believed to be that of 52-year-old Judy Therianos were found Thursday. They just released the news this afternoon. Therianos was in Florida visiting a friend and had not been seen for nearly a month.
This was 51-year-old Judith Therianos, who was not a resident but a visitor of Newport Richey. She had come with a friend to visit another friend who was suffering from cancer, but unfortunately she never went back. And by the time the detectives ID'd her, they also got a break from the CCTV footage collected on the area canvas. The footage revealed that she was purchasing alcohol in a convenience store nearby while she was accompanied by this man. Now, the top priority is to identify that man, as he was the last person seen with Judith. DNA collected from the scene of the crime led to a dead end. So, this man was not in the system, and the only way to find him is to go door to door asking around the neighborhood. Armed with this description and picture, the detectives went back to the trailer park and banged on as many doors as they could, hoping that someone can give a description on their primary suspect.
I guess I'll start out with you first. We're conducting a death investigation. Right here in this wood line, there's a decomposed body that was just found.
Is that what the fuck was stinking back there? I tell you, I fucking smell some bad shit right there.
Okay. No, it's probably the dead body. It looks to be about 2 weeks old. White male, and he's got a red shopper cart next to him. Have you seen anything in the past 2 weeks?
About 3 weeks ago, I seen there was a white male back there. He had brought like food and shit like that and shop for it. And I left him alone because
Did you look homeless?
Yeah.
Okay.
I understand, homeless and all that, but I left him alone, and after 4 days, I didn't see him. Like, or hear nothing from him or anything.
And you just saw that one time 4 weeks ago?
Because we were out back walking the dog and we heard somebody came out, like, upstairs, he came out and looked. And said that he's back there.
Okay. That's probably who it's going to be, was he with anybody?
No, it was just me.
Okay. Fine. Hello! You live in lot 11?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm home.
Have you heard the news?
Yeah, unfortunately.
Okay. Have you seen anything in the past 2 weeks? Heard anything in the past 2 weeks? Smelled anything in the past 2 weeks?
I did go behind our house to bathe my dog, and I just, that's been a week and a half.
Week and a half, 2 weeks ago.
The fact that everyone gave vague descriptions indicates either that they didn't know what happened, or they didn't want to talk to the police. The closest they got was to a man named Grizzly, who not only had information, but also evidence supporting the case. He even showed the detectives the bag he left behind, in which they found his blue shirt and shorts, the same ones found in the CCTV footage. But all Grizzly knew was that he was looking to get out of town and bought a ticket to Chicago. He never knew the person's name or identity, And just as the detectives were about to end their search, one of the neighbors named Stephen approached the detectives and told them that he, and I'm quoting, needed some help with the IRS. The detectives were confused at first, but then they picked up on his subliminal message that he wanted to confess something so big that it would break open the case.
Well, you know where the dollar store is over there?
Yes.
The liquor store? I'm guessing it was about 6 feet. And we walked with Lady to go to the liquor store. We came out, and she was on the side of the dollar store. I know we were against the wall, the dollar store. And
I'm sorry, I'm so sorry. When you say you and him, who was you and Tim, and then who was later on the house?
Judy, well, that's dead. And I waved to her. I spoke to her, couldn't really hold a conversation with her. She was really out there. But I waved to her and he goes, "Who's that?" And I said, "That's Judy. Yes, well, you want to stay away from her." And
please something too. I don't think I asked you this earlier. What did you warn him, and when did you warn him prior to that incident? When did you warn him?
Days before, maybe. And everybody else warned him, stay away from her. She's bad news. She's not right in the head. Bob and you warned him too. And when I said that, when I said it's Judy, that's what we're talking about. He says, "I can handle myself." And he walked towards her, and I just kept walking. I thought nothing of it.
Almost immediately, he named Judith Therianos and the blue shirt-wearing person with her as Timothy Johnson. To him, Tim was a buddy who expressed his intentions towards Therianos, but then all that changed in just 2 hours. If you're enjoying this video, please make sure to hit the subscribe button. It helps the channel out a lot. Okay, now back to the video.
And I'm sitting on my porch, and now it's dark. That's why I said maybe it was 6 o'clock, because he came back about 2 hours later. And we were sitting on the porch. He was sitting on the couch, and I was sitting on the chair facing him. And he asked me, "Can I tell you something really bad that I did?" I said, "I guess, unless you killed her." That I did to Judy. I said, "I didn't, unless you killed her." And he goes, "Yeah, that's what I'm talking about." And I panicked. I got up and I started pacing. "Oh my God." I said, "Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God." Yeah, how do you think I feel? You know?
What made you ask him if you killed her?
It was, I don't know, I just, you know, and he was telling me, he told me anything you did bad, unless you killed her, I don't want to know, you know. And he said, "Yeah, that's what I'm talking about." You know, like, oh, shit, in the midst of a freaking murder. And I panicked. And I got up and I started pacing back and forth, saying, "Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God." And he was like, "Yeah, how do you think I feel?" And then he went on to say something about, and I didn't want to hear no more. At that point, I was freaking out. Something about getting a blush from doing it. And I don't know if he meant just her or, you know, if you did it multiple times to other people, but should we get a blush?
He just kind of spouting off the mouth, was he drunk or what?
No, he wasn't drunk.
And so he was
sober.
It's not just his testimony that matters, it's that he's even presenting the timeline correctly, something only a true witness of the case would know. In fact, he was also witness to the fact that Tim was doing something to her after his dark confession.
And then later on, I don't know if it's that night or the next night, I think it was that night, or the next night, he said, "Yeah, I've been back to the spot 2 times with alcohol." And
did he say what the spot meant?
No. I don't think he actually said the spot. He said, "I've been back there twice with alcohol."
And when you say alcohol, or when he said alcohol, did he meant like drinking alcohol?
Drinking alcohol. I got the total feeling that he meant alcohol to clean, kind of like clean up or whatever.
Like a peroxide type of thing, like alcohol, rubbing alcohol.
Yeah.
Oh, not drinking alcohol.
No, not drinking alcohol.
Have you ever seen him with alcohol then?
Yeah, he drinks.
But have you ever seen him with rubbing alcohol?
No. I don't know where he got the alcohol. I don't know. No. And as soon that starting that night, now I'm like freaking out. I couldn't go to sleep for days. I barricaded my door. I sleep with a knife under my pillow. I sleep with my phone right in my hand. And I'm like, and I told him, I blamed it on the management. I said, "You can't stay on my porch no more."
Detectives do a background check on Timothy Johnson, and they find that he's been previously arrested 4 times in Florida for aggravated battery, domestic battery, and 2 times for failure to appear in court. Interestingly, one of those aggravated assault arrests took place 3 weeks before Therianos' body was discovered. He was drinking heavily and broke into a woman's home late at night. But more importantly, this meant that he was already in the police's custody. Now that the detectives are armed with witness statements, CCTV footage, and evidence that puts him near the crime scene, the detectives will cut straight to the elephant in the room.
Well, I'm going to go ahead and cut to the chase because we know that you killed her. Okay? I can just tell you right now. We know that you killed her. We know that you wanted to have sex with her and she probably had consensual sex with her. And that's fine. You totally can have some consensual sex.
Right now, basically, like, honesty is going to be like the best policy because there's a lot of stuff that we know. And we just kind of want to give you the benefit of the doubt of explaining yourself. The lies aren't going to do anything good for you.
What I think happened was there was a rape fantasy that she probably liked to do because she did. She did like to do that kind of thing. And then, you know, when you orgasm, sometimes you can do asphyxiation. You know how like asphyxia people, they can, it heightens your orgasm, right? So I know that she was into that as well. So if it's something like that, then that's what we think it is. So that's not that big of a deal. So that's why we're talking to you. That's why we're asking you about it. So what can you tell us with regards to that?
Yeah, well, I mean, we did have sex, but, you know, I don't...
Did you know her for a long time before you had sex?
No.
Okay. All right. There's nothing wrong with you having sex with somebody.
It's not about sex. It's consensual. So.
Correct.
How many times did you have sex with her?
Once.
Where at?
It's pretty mystic, but... I can't recall where I had sex on.
Was it in a car, in a house, outside, in a parking lot?
Outside.
Do you remember where you said it was it around the place that you were staying? Or?
Could have been. I remember that. I remember being next to a dumpster.
Okay. What happened?
Just consensual sex. You know, I put her up against the dumpster. We had sex. You know, went our separate ways.
Okay. Did you have oral sex, anal sex, just vaginal, penis to vagina? Okay. Did you guys agree to meet up again to maybe drink some more and have sex again, or?
No.
Okay. Well, how did she go? How did she go with you? Did you hang out for a little while and have like after that picture?
Yeah.
Okay. Can you tell me just what did you guys talk about?
See how she was doing. She was working at Lake Ready, and
okay.
you know, I asked her if I had sex, and she said yeah. It was after a couple beers.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I took a couple Xanax and all that good stuff.
Did she take any Xanax?
I know of.
Okay. But not from the same person that you got it from. Okay.
From the evidence, we can tell that what the two did was definitely not consensual. Yet Johnson describes it like any casual encounter. Also, this was a 51-year-old woman, and Johnson was 26 at the time. So what would compel him to do something so heinous to her?
And here's where I'm at with this. I know that you're lying, obviously, to it. And we have information of what happened before this, what happened during it, and what happened afterwards. So your lying to us isn't going to help you out in the long run. We're trying to give you the opportunity to explain what happened, why it happened, without us forcing it out of you. You know what I'm saying? We're trying to give you that benefit of the doubt of saying, hey, I fucked up, and here's why.
And there's nothing wrong with doing anything like that at all. It's just that since we do know, and then we know that you're lying, it just makes it so much worse for you that you're lying to me and him. You know what I'm saying? We're not calling you a bad person. We're not calling you a liar. We're just saying that you're lying to us about this incident.
Right, but you also called me a murderer.
Because, Tim, here's what we think happened. We think that during your guys' consensual sex or whatever was going on there, it escalated, and then it turned to the point where you killed her, as opposed to you didn't bring her into the wooded area to kill her.
I think it was an accident, is what I think. Because I'm thinking it was the choking for the orgasm, because that happens all the time, and it wasn't just got overdone. Really, that's really what I think.
Am I allowed to have my lawyer present?
If you want to, sure.
Okay. Looks better. Okay.
All right. Very good.
It's interesting how Johnson would rather confide and confess to a neighbor, but not the detectives who have presented almost everything to him. This remains the biggest mystery of this case, because after he is charged for first-degree murder and booked, He confesses the crime, this time with more detail, to his inmates.
The woman's name was Judy or Judith.
Okay.
Okay. He told me he was having sex with her.
Okay.
She wanted him to stop. He said at that time he didn't want to stop. He said he choked her. She passed out. He said at that point he got scared. He pulled her shirt over her head. What I told you the other day, hit her with some kind of board. I don't know if it was like board, stick, something. He said he took her debit card. This is supposed to be on 19. I don't know this area.
Okay.
Newport Richie, maybe.
Yes,
something like
okay.
that. And there's supposed to be a Waffle House over
Okay.
there. He said he took her debit card, went and ate breakfast, went to another little store and bought beer, and then came back, like I told you what he did after he came back with her.
This part was confirmed later by the CCTV footage from the Waffle House, which showed Johnson coming in and eating alone. The irony is that he paid for the dinner through Therianos' credit card, which further incriminates Johnson. He just sat there eating his dinner like nothing had happened. What's even more sickening is that this dinner took place between the time of murder and the cleanup.
She was telling him to stop. She was saying like no, something like that. Stop. And he put his hands around her throat, and I think he caused her to pass out.
Okay.
I think he thinks he killed her at that point.
Okay.
And got scared, pulled her shirt over her head, and bashed her head in on her.
Why did he do the shirt over the head then?
I don't know.
Okay.
This same story was supported by multiple inmates who listened to Johnson's confession firsthand, which later became the talk of the pod.
He just that very week, okay, took it upon himself to tell me everything. Okay, I'm like, half the stuff people say in here you don't believe. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
And just before you even move forward, what's the guy's name that you're referring to?
Timothy Johnson.
Right.
All right, he tells me that he that it was, I don't know how long it was before he came to jail, but he told me like I think it was like at least 2 weeks prior to this lady being found in the field. Okay, that he had that they met on the sidewalk. She was coming from some guy named Charlie's house.
Okay.
Some guy with the long hair, white hair, and white beard. She was coming from his house, and she was already beat up. Okay. So he starts drinking, and they start drinking together. He drinks edge alcohol, edge beers, Ice House, and she goes and buys him a 4-pack of beer. They get to drinking. They talk about having sexual relations, and it's like, okay, I guess I've never lived like that, but this was like a one-time deal or something. So they go out in the field, and they start having sexual relations, and I guess things got a little carried away. It might have been being too rough or something, but she started screaming, "Stop, no, stop," and he panicked. I grabbed her by her throat, put his hands on her throat, and he said he said that turned him on, and he was actually crushing her throat while he was getting it on. Okay, so he said he did that until she quit breathing, and her hands and everything did one of these things, and she stiffened up, and next thing you know, she's dead. So he panicked again. So he put her dress over her head and bashed her brains in. Okay, and he's telling me this. I have to believe it. You know what I mean? Because I'm like, this is just wrong. Something's wrong with this, right? So I'm like, I asked him. I said, so then what'd you do? He said, well then, I stole her credit card and her laptop, and I threw her laptop in the dumpster, and I went to the Waffle House and got myself some coffee and some beef. I was like, well, this is on sadistic. Yeah, you just whack somebody nice or like a something. So then he's like, I went and got me another 4-pack of beer, and then had the urge to go again. So we went back there and had some more relations with her, and then panicked, went to his friend's house and got a bottle of alcohol and shoved it inside of her and squeezed the alcohol in there, and then held her upside down for a couple seconds because he's a fairly big person.
and was trying to get the alcohol down in there, and they left.
Every disgusting detail corroborates with what happened, even the fact that she came from Charlie's house. In the end, the only reason we can see is that this darkly demented monster had some sick, twisted fantasies. And when he wasn't able to have those fulfilled, he assaulted her to get what he wanted. It's good to know that he'll never step foot outside his prison walls ever, but it is sad to see this outcome after his gruesome encounter with the dearly departed Judith Therianos. Now, if you think this case was horrific, well, you need to check out my video on the killer who had no idea he was being recorded.